Hello everybody, welcome to a new video. Today we are working something different as usual. We are going to paint a NMM armor with using just 4 colors. The colors I have chosen are Incubi Darkness, Morphan Brown, Snakebite Leather and Golden White. Here we go. We are going to try, we are not using any other color, so first of all, I have used black priming because I love this black chaos priming from Citadel. Maybe it's not the cheapest, but it's a little more expensive than the other references, but I prefer this one because it has a little satin effect. It covers very well, much better than using airbrush or your brush for priming. But remember to use a mask to protect yourself, and the paints hold very well on the surface of the miniature, which is very important. Another issue of this challenge is we are going to use just our brush, our Rosemary size 2. We are not using airbrush, so it's possible to paint an NMM armor without airbrush. So you just need to see this video, to watch this video, and you will notice this is possible. The next step is very diluted. We are using Morphan Brown. I love Morphan Brown, and when we are using a wash or a glaze, the previous layer, in this case black, is going to be very important, and the Morphan Brown is going to be darkened. If you want to use another brown, dark brown, whatever you prefer to use, you can do, but in this case I prefer to use Morphan Brown because using glazes, you get surface with not all the surface regular. You have another information because the pigment holds better in some parts than other. The objective is to get NMM very dark, as I did in my leader from Shadowspire. If you didn't see, you can follow me on Instagram, and I have more content from Shadowspire and Nighvault miniatures. Now we are going to start to define planes of light. We are going to draw many volumes. Remember, you don't need to paint just what you see in the sculpture. You can draw your own volumes, your own interest as a painter, and of course painting edges. Painting edges is the most important thing when we are painting reflections and defining NMM armors or materials, objects, sorry. In the next step, we are not using water. This is a base layer with Morphan Brown. We want the pigment keeps well. And see how I define volumes, how I identify cylinders, spheres. I'm always thinking on cylinders and defining the heights of the cylinder or a parallel line. And of course, painting edges. Well, at this moment it's very simple, isn't it? I take some water from the wet palette. If you want to see how I do my wet palette, you just watch this video and come back then. Well, in this shoulder you have a double armor. Then, now we start with snakebite leather with yellow pigment. We reduce the application, the area of the application, and we are increasing the saturation and brightness because this color is more saturated and more bright. If you are not sure, you don't use snakebite leather, just snakebite leather. You can mix with morphin brown, and so the jump is going to be softer. But if you feel confident, you can use snakebite leather in this step. Perfect. You will need less steps. You can see how we are defining the volume on the armor. Don't worry if we paint with much white, because we can return to a previous step and recover the saturation, increasing the saturation later, and it's easier to paint with a previous layer so bright. It's more difficult if the previous layer is dark. If you have any doubt, you can use the comments. You leave a comment and I will answer. Now I apply a little glaze from snakebite leather to keep some yellow pigment to color the reflections. See how we are selecting, choosing some points which are more saturated and more intense than others. Because if you want to highlight some parts, you need to ignore some others. So this is not, this doesn't mean you don't have to define these other parts. You have to, but if everything is in the same intensity, you are not going to focus the sight to say how to look your miniature. Okay, we are suffering the challenge of just 4 colors we have used at the moment. I missed. I'm missing a poor yellow. See the relevance of painting the edges to get more definition, a better definition is very important, is essential for me. Well, we are suffering, but I think we are getting success. But well, I really need to use a poor yellow pigment because I'm missing a lot, and I want to use. I needed to use. We are going to apply highlight in more parts here below, for example, in the screw. When I chose the color palette, I chose in Darkness because it's dark, it's blue, and you can paint edges in the shades perfectly. Then Morphin Brown, which is poorly red, okay, it's reddish brown, and Snakebite Leather, which contains also red, but much more yellow. And of course white, because white is the one of the most important. If you have not, you can find on the shop, is Golden Paints, white titanium from Golden Paints. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to use ideal yellow because it's very important to get contrast in this part. Okay, I don't want to sound like excuses or, you know, this is very important because the challenge doesn't mind. One of the most important lessons here is why do we need to use pure yellow for this, and we have proved, and this is very important for color theory, to know why and when we are to use a color or other. Now it's very different, much better. Remember this, we have missed yellow pigment and we have taken this color, breaking the challenge, okay? But we did learn why and when. Well, if you have any question, you can ask in the comments, and if you want to complain about the challenge broken, you can also write a comment. And we stop here. Well, wait, here we have an edge. It's very important to get a good definition. Remember, it's a dark metal, but not a non-defined metal. We finish also the foot. And this is it. The next video, I have recorded the face and the hair as a flame, and I have prepared something very interesting. I hope you enjoy this video. If you did, please share this video, and so be patient, please. I'm studying. I really hope from heart you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for attending. See you the next time. Bye.